Welcome back to the Dark Cosmic Universe. My name is Avian Savage. Welcoming back all my cosmic followers here in the Dark Cosmic Universe. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel because we talk about action figures, we talk about play sets, we talk about vehicles, we talk about Pokemon cards, we talk about cool cosmic collectibles that are out there in the YouTubosphere. If you are new to the channel, please check out the links in the description. I have an eBay store where I sell vintage and retro t-shirts. I also sell paperback books. When I make a sale, I bring it back here to the Dark Cosmic Universe. Don't forget, if you are new to the channel, please activate that bell icon so you get notified when I upload a video just like this. Leaving comments always helps. Sharing the videos to your friends. Remixing, remastering, reinvigorating, reimagining what the Dark Cosmic Universe could be in your part of your universe here on the YouTubosphere. Again, so appreciate that. Very, very excited about that. This always helps the channel grow. Always that great imagination with all the comments, which is amazing. Don't forget, if you are new to the channel, I have to do this. So this is where you are. You are in the Dark Cosmic Universe. That's my name, Avian Savage. Can't put it back there because all these cool wrestlers are back there. At least our figures are. Okay, getting excited to be here yet again. Yours truly. One of the things I loved as growing up as a kid, I loved wrestling figures because, you know, wrestling was on TV. A great near and dear friend introduced me to wrestling. Came up to me and said, "Hey, you watching wrestling this weekend?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He had these really cool wrestling magazines. He goes, "Do you know who, I gotta remember some of the name, Moondog Spot, you know, or Hulk Hogan, or," again, these are some names like Ric Flair. And I'm like, "Who are you talking about? I have no idea. How about the Road Warriors?" I'm like, "No idea." Totally clueless. One day, yours truly decides to, I'm watching video, I was probably playing video games too, but I was watching cartoons because that's what comes on a Saturday. And he suggested me to go check out some wrestling that happened, like, I don't know, it was like 11 or 12 in the afternoon. And so I did, and I started watching it. And I started watching these two guys. I'm like going, okay, I don't get it. You know, they're wrestling and they're doing all these cool wrestling moves. Again, it was, to me, like live action superheroes. And then one of the guys pulls out this foreign object, which he had tucked in his pants, hits the other guy. Guy falls on the mat. Match is over. I'm like, "Hey, you can't do that." And that's when they had me hooked. Because I went back to school the next Monday or Tuesday, whenever it was, came up to my friend. I'm like, "I saw what happened. He pulled like these quarters out of his pants and he used it against this other guy. And I don't know, isn't that illegal?" And he's like, "Gotcha. That's right." And that's how it happens. And from then on, it was constantly watching the most amazing soap opera that has been made for men and women and children of all ages, I guess you can say. And that was it. I was hooked, you know. Now, of course, like late 80s, early 90s, and then once the whole Wrestle War, you know, for the different companies went over, when Vince McMahon bought the company, WCW, that was it. I was done. Couldn't watch it anymore. Couldn't stomach any of the storylines that they had going on. But the ones that I did remember and the amazing pay-per-views that I did see, even though some of them, I mean, you look back now, looked, well, okay. But you know what? It had me hooked. I'm like, you know, I loved it. I bought the merchandise. I bought the t-shirts. I bought the figures. I bought the video games that went with it. And of course, I'm rebuying all the figures again because, long story short, don't have them anymore. All right, let's take a look at the card art here. Now, I actually did meet Brutus the Barber Beefcake. We'll talk about that when we talk about the figure. But very, very cool. Actually, I've got the other card over here. So there he goes. I remember I actually met him, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Here's the back of it, the strutting and the cutting, and we'll talk about that. Some other characters that are, you know, wrestlers that were in this particular wave. Rey Mysterio Jr., Razor Ramon, and there is Brutus the Barber Beefcake. Very cool. And this was incredible. Now, it does come with some accessories, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes. And then the other day, walking into Walmart, yes, and I gotta love that, I wound up seeing this, which is pretty awesome. And I'm so glad that I was able to get this. I was like, oh my gosh, it's the Iron Sheik. And like, I remember watching the Iron Sheik, and even the match that was the stardom to Hulk Hogan becoming the professional wrestler icon that he was back in the day. Not the person who played it. I'm not talking about Terry Bollea. I'm talking about the character Hulk Hogan. That was it. I was just like, I was hooked. And a lot of people back in the 80s and 90s, they just like, you know, it was the greatest soap opera or storylines that were ever made. Anyway, so I want to pick that up. And real quick, so the price was wrong from what Walmart had. It was like $1 off, and they wound up they gave me the buck back, which was the they didn't change the tags on the gotta think here on the shelves, but I was able to pick them up. There are more to come, and I will be picking up as we go. All right. Anyway, so if you're curious about the wrestling figures here, now these are the same size approximately as the Masters of the Universe figures, since they are made by Mattel. About 5.5 inches, so these guys can be compatible. So yes, you can have Trapjaw versus Hogan. You could have Ric Flair versus Skeletor, and do that. And this is so cool. Like, you know, this is like the second time yours truly actually got to hang out with, was it? Can't remember his name now. I just had. I can call him Brutus Beefcake. He's got some interesting name, but his real name. But love the character. Got to meet him, and like this, there you go. The second time him and I are hanging out together. So here's the figure. Very, very cool. Lots of articulation. We got shoulder articulation. We got some elbow articulation. It's cool that they actually included some of the wrestling elbow pads. And my buddy Brutus the Barber Beefcake was like. He was like the guy that I emulated to a point where I actually wound up finding a bow tie. And I actually did find these zebra stripe pants similar to them. And I remember wearing them. And people were like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? And yes, at one time, Brother Brutai over here, which I don't remember him as brother. Well, that's what Hogan used to say. Yours truly kind of had the... party in the back and all seriousness up front as a hairstyle way back in the day. And then yes, I did actually have a bow tie, and I think I came in like to school wearing a bow tie. They're like, are you kidding me? And I remember the gimmick. I know what the gimmick was, but once they gave him Brutus the Barber Beefcake as a gimmick, it was pretty cool. Anyway, so I did get to meet him. I did get pictures with Brutus Beefcake. I made this huge sign. It said the strutting and the cutting, and I had a pair of scissors, not scissors, but you know, those big hedge clippers, and I showed it to Brutus Beefcake, Ed, oh my gosh, I remember his last name. Let me know in the comments. So I met him, and I was like, the strutting and the cutting. He looked at the sign and like, he was like, I don't get it. I'm like, are you kidding me? That was like the biggest gimmick in your life. But again, who knows what was going on in his life at that time. And then all of a sudden, now good old Brutus Beefcake can actually remember all the things that he totally forgot when I saw him. And the funny thing is, when he was the main eventer of the evening, and he was going against some jobber, which means it was like a character, a guy, you know, who you knew was going to lose. And as he was wrestling, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is terrible. I think it was like in the second row, watching Brutus Beefcake wrestle. It was like the worst match I've ever seen him wrestle. And someone actually wound up rousing him, and they said, my grandfather can wrestle better than you. And I'm like, wow. But there I was supporting Brutus Beefcake. Here's his alternate head when he was the Zodiac Man. Again, I don't remember that particular thing. That was in the WCW when he couldn't call himself Brutus the Barber Beefcake. He comes with 2 extra hands, which is really, really cool. All right, here we go. Finding him, the Iron Sheik. Of course, first thing that comes to my mind when I picked him up, and I had him. It was, again, the figure was about $21 and change, or under $21. When I saw the Iron Sheik, of course, the first thing I could think of was his gimmick, his ultimate gimmick. When he get on the microphone, he's like, "Iran #1, Russia #1, USA And I was just like, and he got the crowd going, and they just did it because, again, it was that, you were like so supportive of the USA, and you just couldn't, do that. You couldn't have another person's country like taking over. Now, he was the champion at one time. Again, the belt has gone back to him several times. But again, this is so cool. Comes with some really cool soft goods shorts, which is really awesome. And he's got the boots with the old hook over here. Now, at one time, if I remember the story was correct, he was in an airport, the gentleman who played the Iron Sheik, and he brought his boots in, and security's like, what is this? Why do these have these hooks? No, you cannot go through customs, or you can go through the guards, and you have to leave your boots behind. And he was so upset. He's like, that's my gimmick. He's like, these are my boots. And I'm so glad that they actually added that on here. And then you can take off his headpiece, which is really, really cool. Again, this looks like the Iron Sheik. Now, he's a little too jacked than the Iron Sheik. But again, the Iron Sheik was who he was, and really glad that I got to see him wrestle on TV. Him and Nikolai Volkov, like great, awesome tag team partners, which is really cool. And the gimmick worked. It's all about the gimmick. And here we go. So we've got some of the hands in here. Again, he's got the pointy finger in here. You can pop and swap these off with the other characters. So if you wanted the pointy finger, you got the Hogan looking at, and no, and whatnot, you could do that. But again, pretty cool that these were part of the universe here that they're building. Very excited. Again, like as a young adult, I was a teenager, whatever. And when I started watching it, I started going it. I remember going to see WrestleMania. I think it was WrestleMania 2. I'm pretty sure. And I paid money to go into a gym with all these other people because my cable company did not have pay-per-view. And I paid to sit on this metal seat and watch, wrestling, because you went in the next day, you go, oh my gosh, did you see what happened? And your life revolved around wrestling. If someone lost, you were just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe he lost the belt, or they lost that match because of da-da-da-da. And that's what they've got you when they do that. They make you feel something. It's nostalgic. It is a relationship that you have with a particular person who is an actor. And again, they're incredibly amazing, trained professionals. They're very skilled, regardless of what you think about storylines and how everything was all, everything's already, who was going to win, who's going to lose. It didn't matter. It was the storyline. It was the performers giving their heart and soul to you, believing that this match was something that was so cosmically epic that it was everything. And again, I don't follow the current wrestling, and I know I'm going to probably get it from everyone else, but you know what? I can't relate to it. But when I see the old matches on YouTube, I'm like, oh my gosh, I've never seen this one. Or I break out a wrestling video game and I have all my classic wrestlers in there. Yeah, that's cool, because again, that's what I can relate to. And again, to all those people who are wrestlers, to the people who make the storylines, to all the people who are behind the cameras and, doing everything, thank you so much. Thank you for all that you do in creating the most amazing, epic things that we see and hold on to as near and dear. But again, if you're curious, here's some of the characters that I've collected. We've got the Ultimate Warrior, one of my favorites. Roddy Piper. I really wish I had. Again, he played. When you hate a person, and again, I usually say the word in that. Oh God, I hated Roddy Piper, but he was playing his part. And again, now that you look back retrospectively, he was amazing. Ric Flair over here. We've got Andre the Giant, Jake the Snake Roberts. This is when we can take the mask off and he becomes a snake. We've got the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. Mr. T, I pity the fool. That's right. Love T. The Macho Man. There was another guy who I didn't like, but you know what? As I've gotten older, I respected him so much more. We got the Iron Sheik, but that's what they do. They make you feel something. Brutus the Barber Beefcake. And then we got Hulk Hogan over here. And we got Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. I am so happy that these are in my collection. Eventually, one of these days, I'll set my wrestling ring up. I'll have them all in there, just doing a huge battle royal. It'll be a cosmic fight to the finish for a title belt, because that's what they do. And again, this line, this is the WWE. It'll always be the World Wrestling Federation, because that's what it was. I don't care about the Wildlife Federation. WWE, man, it was about the block and that symbol. But that was, again, I'll always remember that. But again, it was always about, the wrestlers, relating to them, getting the merch, having the figures, having a good old wrestle fest, and all is good. Anyway, that's it. That's the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for checking out the videos. Again, 2 more figures to the collection. I pick them up as I see them, or as they're available. Again, I hope you are part of the Dark Cosmic Universe. If you are subscribed, you're definitely part of the Dark Cosmic Universe. You're part of our Dark Cosmic family. Said it again. Here on the YouTubesphere. And anyone who joins, thank you very much. Anyone who is a subscriber, thank you guys so much for being part of the Dark Cosmic Universe. Thank you guys for doing all that you do. Sharing the videos, letting people know about this channel. I appreciate it so much. And thank you for letting me grow this channel the way it has grown. I can't say thank you enough. But again, if you are part of the Dark Cosmic family, if you are subscribed to the Dark Cosmic family, here on my channel, I think I'm like, okay, if you are subscribed to this channel, you are part of the Dark Cosmic family. Who are my Dark Cosmic family members? Well, in my eyes, you are my cosmic cosmonauts. You are my cosmic comrades, my insane toy collectors. You are my dark cosmic Pokemon collectors, and my dark cosmic collectors as well. Thank you guys for hanging out here. I so appreciate it. From one side of the galaxy to the other, and somewhere in between, there is the Dark Cosmic Universe. Stay cosmically insane, my friends. Keep collecting all those action figures. Come back here to the YouTubesphere. That's right, that's what you gotta do. Let me know what's going on in your collection. Come back here to the Dark Cosmic Universe. Let me know what's in your collection, and we will definitely see you cosmically soon for another cosmic adventure here in the Dark Cosmic Universe. Thank you guys again. Let me know what's going on in your collections, and we will definitely see you cosmically soon.